Friends, today marks a pivotal shift in India's global economic strategy. And if you're watching this, you're witnessing a moment that could shape the next decade of growth for our nation. India and Israel have just signed a bilateral investment agreement, a treaty that brings investor protections, arbitration mechanisms, and expanded opportunities in sectors like fintech, cybersecurity, digital payments, and advanced tech. Make no mistake, this is not just another diplomatic headline. It's a strategic game changer for Indian entrepreneurship, global trade, and economic security. Let me break it down for you piece by piece, because this is where geopolitics meets opportunity. Israel becomes the first OECD member state with which India has signed such a pact under its new investment treaty model. That alone sends a powerful message. India is ready to play on the world's most advanced economic platforms. Our past deals with the UAE or Uzbekistan were steps, but this one with Israel stands on an entirely different strategic level. The Times of India +1, the Economic Times now. Why Israel and why now? For decades, India-Israel ties grew quietly from defense to agriculture to innovation. But now, with a formal investment treaty, Indian companies gain legal certainty, protection against expropriation, transparent arbitration rights, and freedom to transfer funds smoothly. TaxMy, IBEF. This pact will turbocharge investments in fintech, cybersecurity, infrastructure, and high-tech areas where Israel thrives and where India is primed to absorb cutting-edge know-how and capital. If we translate this into concrete gains, millions in new investments, job creation, and global collaborations. Think Indian startups accessing Israeli tech ecosystems. Think cross-border partnerships in AI, agritech, cybersecurity infrastructure, and digital payments. This is how India builds a future, by integrating with global hubs, not isolating itself. 2025 is shaping up as a geopolitically charged year, shifting trade alliances, realignments post-pandemic, and new economic corridors. India needs to partner with nimble, advanced economies like Israel to counterbalance dependency on old players and unlock modern supply chains. Importantly, this agreement also provides a buffer during global volatility, offering Indians safe legal recourse overseas and opening Israel's $800 million investment base to Indian businesses. The Economic Times, Reuters, no deal is without challenges. India must ensure this works alongside its existing regional and global strategies with Europe, Gulf countries, and the U.S. Also, domestic industries must stay protected amidst new competition. This treaty must be about growth without compromise, about integration that uplifts and protects. Strategically, this corruption-proof, arbitration-backed pact elevates India's diplomatic soft power. It signals that India is ready to act not just as a regional player, but as a global enabler, willing and able to partner on equitable terms with economies that lead in innovation. For the youth, this could unlock opportunities in global startup ecosystems. For traders and investors, it's a launch point into Middle Eastern and Western portfolios. For the nation, it's a seismic move toward a diversified, resilient economic identity. As we come to the conclusion of this deep dive into the India-Israel Bilateral Investment Treaty, it is important to pause and reflect on why this moment matters so much. In the vast, interconnected web of global geopolitics and economics, some events pass quietly, while others become turning points that redefine a nation's trajectory. This agreement signed between India and Israel belongs to the second category. It is not just a deal written on paper, it is a signal to the world, a declaration that India is ready to claim its place in the front row of global economic leadership. Let's start with the symbolism. Israel is not just another country on the map. It is a nation that has carved out a reputation as one of the most innovative, resilient, and technologically advanced economies on the planet. Despite its size, it has produced some of the world's leading breakthroughs in cybersecurity, agriculture, defense, and high-tech entrepreneurship. By entering into a binding investment treaty with Israel, India is doing more than opening doors for trade. It is anchoring itself to a partner that thrives on innovation, agility, and smart governance. This is exactly the kind of partner India needs to work with if it is to transform itself into a hub for cutting-edge technology, resilient supply chains, and high-value industries. But beyond symbolism, there is substance. This treaty gives Indian companies something priceless: security and certainty. For too long, Indian businesses investing abroad have faced an atmosphere of risk fear, of sudden policy changes, lack of legal protection, or endless bureaucratic hurdles. Now, with clearly defined protections against unfair expropriation, transparent arbitration systems, and guaranteed rights for transfer of funds, Indian investors can enter Israel's market with confidence. And the same goes for Israeli businesses looking at India. That kind of mutual security is the foundation on which billion-dollar collaborations can be built. Think about the timing. With trade talks ongoing with the EU, strategic corridors being built with the UAE, growing ties with the United States, and new footprints in Africa and Asia, India is carefully constructing a global economic map, where it is no longer just a participant, but a central player. The treaty with Israel fits perfectly into this vision. It bridges West Asia with South Asia, connects India to advanced OECD legal frameworks, and signals to the global business community that India is ready to play by world-class rules. This will not just bring in investment, it will bring in respect. And in geopolitics, respect often translates into influence. For the ordinary citizen, it is worth asking, how does this affect me? And the answer is, in more ways than you might think. When Indian startups gain access to Israeli technology, it means better innovations in agriculture that can help our farmers. It means smarter cybersecurity that protects your data. It means advanced fintech solutions that make your financial transactions safer and smoother. It means infrastructure investments that improve connectivity, housing, and energy. In short, the benefits flow not just to boardrooms in Delhi or Tel Aviv, but to households in Mumbai, Bengaluru, or Lucknow. The impact may not be visible overnight, but over time, treaties like this shape the way people live, work, and dream. Of course, every opportunity carries risk. India must be careful not to allow foreign players to overwhelm domestic industries. It must ensure that while doors are open for investment, the rules remain fair, transparent, and aligned with national interests. It must also balance its growing ties with Israel against the sensitivities of its relations with other West Asian countries. But these are not reasons to hesitate. They are reasons to proceed wisely. India has time and again shown that it can walk this fine line, maintaining friendships across rival blocs while pursuing its own national interest. This treaty is another step in that direction. In the end, history does not remember treaties for their paperwork. It remembers them for the futures they create. And this treaty has the potential to create a future where India is not just a large market, but a respected leader in the global economy, where Indian companies are not just participants, but pioneers, where India's voice in global forums is backed not only by its population and military, but by its ability to forge partnerships that matter. So yes, this is more than an agreement. This is India announcing that it is ready for the next stage of its journey. Ready to invest, ready to innovate, ready to collaborate, ready to lead. And as we move forward, one thing is certain: the world will be watching. But more importantly, the world will be taking India seriously. That is the power of this moment. That is the power of this treaty. And that is the power of India's future.